This is it, right? The referral
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
for
I
showing
dragged
it.
the trees down with my bare hand as a measure of both the tree and the hand, find equivalent. And so yeah, I like that idea of like this like tool or like something's missing. Is
Yeah,
that kind of it? Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. And this is your writing, right?
yeah.
Nice. What is this picture?
No, no, this is from a catalog of advertising.
Oh,
Quite
really?
old. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, but I thought it's just a very good example of how of measuring and the potential that measuring has, you know, and different quantities and shapes and stuff. So yeah, it's just more or less in a gimmicky way fits
Yeah.
the
Just like based off of like our last conversation and also that meeting like that we had with the other teams like about form and like how are we envisioning, because like it seems like other groups are doing like videos and like I know we're taking like kind of a more expansive approach, or like we're putting not more expansive but it's more like loose.
yeah.
We're very loose, I think, with our everything. So I'm just trying to think of like how we're like envisioning like what an install would be like or something, because you know that was brought up too.
Yeah,
um
it was brought up. Yeah, it's true. But and it's not an easy task, you know, to kind of imagine uh, a, a form of something. I mean, outside video or two-dimensional drawings or photographs. I
mhm.
mean, to imagine an installation of some sort with objects, three-dimensional objects and other things, it's not easy. Sculpture or maybe something else, isn't it? I mean, um, I
Yeah.
feel comfortable in working more or less, let's say, conceptually more close to be more close conceptually to the idea that we come that is proposed either by you or by me. So the approach, it's I feel okay with this approach. uh, I think the content is there, it can be, you know, but of course we can think of that. I mean, it's also a challenge, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
easy, but
yeah. I've been trying to think about that too, and I feel like we're gonna have like a lot of text-based pieces, which is great, and also like video-based or digital because of like the format of everything. Um, I don't know. Yeah. And then like that's the other question. It's like how much do we want to like close this up while we're still like working? Yeah. I don't know. But I like this idea of the like exquisite corpse on the back and forth.
if you ask me that what I sent can stand as a work in itself or as a something that can be
Yeah.
printed, and yeah, sure, absolutely, but yeah, we can.
Yeah. Yeah. So
As I guess your GIF can stand as well, right?
mhm.
On an LCD screen or something or anything.
Yeah.
Depends.
Also, I'm thinking about this idea of like, I don't know, like final form. I've been thinking maybe like, and maybe there's digital, maybe it's physical, but like thinking about like dictionaries or like encyclopedias and like, you know, because this technically is all still about the word acquit. It's just taken a very loose form, you know, like that was the starting point, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I don't know, just like this idea of like the like format of a encyclopedia, the format of like Wikipedia, the format of, you know, like a dictionary or like some sort of website database system kind of thing, you know, or a library. I don't know, that's like might be a cool way to think about like how to like organize all this or how to like put it in a
Yeah,
form.
I totally agree. We
Yeah.
need some sort of form like that.
Yeah, yeah, because we have the concept down, like, you know, we can do that. But it's the form part that I think, especially if we have to think about like for like presenting this, like, you know, like a possibility to have this like in a show or something like that.
You there, me here. It's a bit of a, you know,
Yeah, I
um,
know.
I'm, yeah,
Yeah, it's real. And it's also, I feel like right now it's just like, oh, we're both like in weird like moments or of transition. Which is interesting too, you know, this idea that we're just kind of trying to get grounding, you know? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I've been like, there's this book I own that I got that somebody gave me and I love it. It's about this TV show. What's it called? I think it's called Little Blue Dictionary. But it's basically like this dictionary that is about this woman basically like was in love like with her friend or whatever, and her friend passed away, and like she was obsessed with this TV show, and her friend like started watching the TV show after she passed away and to connect with her. And basically it's just like a encyclopedia. It might be Little Blue Encyclopedia. And it's just like a list of characters and it's like a collection of stories. But I really like that idea of a format. I'm really drawn to like this idea of like, you know, Little Blue Encyclopedia for Evelyn is what it's called. I'm gonna drop it. And it's just really beautiful, but like she like talks about all these different things and makes all these different connections. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing, you know? Through our project. And it might just be a good way of organizing like all these different levels, or, you know, we were talking about like self-acquittal or like forgiveness and everything like that. So like we have like all these jumping off points or these points about like measurement, or, you know, because everything, it's all about like measurement and like positioning, and maybe we can work with that in a way in terms of like what form would something that's about measurement takes, you know, or like positioning take. And I feel like maybe that's a map. It could be a map too, you know, like again in the loosest sense of the word. But yeah, I'm just thinking a lot about like that.
It's an interesting proposition.
Oh, here's better. This one has or maybe it doesn't, but yeah, it's just like, you know, there's like illustrations in there and like all these other things. There's this other book called Keywords of Capitalism that I'm really into as well. Let me see. But it's kind of the same thing, you know, like it's connecting all these things together, and there's like glossaries, and that's just kind of where my brain goes. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's kind of you know, it's like let me see.
I have to check them out.
Yeah.
Keywords for Capitalism, right?
Yes, this book. And so there's like it's the middle of the page. But there's like an introduction, talks about language, you know, and then they go through and they like talk about the words. But eventually there's a place where they define, it's gonna make me go through all that. Let's see, here we go, we're about to get it. So like it'll say like accountability, and then it talks about like what that word used to mean and what that word currently means. But it's set up like, you know, like a dictionary kind of. And I don't know, I'm really drawn to like that form. I don't know, I just feel like
it's a good form,
yeah, just like how we're talking about everything and all the different aspects. I feel like we can really flesh out, or like we can put our work and enter like our videos, you know, and then those kind of get like hazy or like, you know, slippery, and like the slippage and everything of those can kind of lead us to like the next definition. And maybe also like if we do that, you know, if we are entering our videos into like another like system or like actual like placement or marker language wise, that'll cause more slippage too.
And you think of bringing all this material in one place?
Yeah, like if we just have, I think we just need a system to organize all of our the different aspects of this word, acquit, you know, because there's like the forgiveness, there's the measurement that's happening. There's this idea of like inversion that's happening. So like maybe we have like measurement, you know, equit, and then we have like measurement as like a limit or something. And then like everything that has to do with measurement goes in this one place. And maybe that there's crossover with that, you know, and that starts to get slippery. And that leads us to like our next, like, you know, kind of, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So it doesn't actually have to be a book. I'm just thinking about ways of organizing this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you be even more specific than in formally how it should look, or how you think it should look? I mean,
Um,
like one Word document and everything stacked, and or folders, or
I think it, no, I'm not even thinking like as a document, because again, like this has to be like something that is presentable, you know, like I think, yeah, we have to think of it like if we were to have a show, you know? And
okay.
so like, what would we want that to look like? So maybe that's like a shelf that has like, you know, like I don't know, like an iPad on it with these videos on it, or a monitor or something.
Mhm.
And then there's also text work in this part of the shelf, you know, or like things like that. Just like it could be physical. So like not legit a book, but just like the idea of like a book, an idea of like sections. I found a really good definition of book the other day that I'll pass your way.
Mhm.
But you know, just the idea of that, like in a very loose kind of
Mhm.
conceptual way. Yeah, the concept of a book. So it could be a website, you know, it could be a physical thing, it could be folders, but I think that might be a little bit, I think we should make it like, and we get to play with the form, you know, like we can get creative.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's a sculpture. Maybe we make a sculpture of different compartments, or we make like 5 sculptures of different compartments, you know, and we work all the other stuff into it some way. Um, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm for hands-on objects, and working on some material, like in real life, in real, I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, so it can be done, isn't it? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Up to this point, I approached what we did, and what my thoughts went into conceptually putting material out there,
Mhm.
thinking through language. And so language was the vehicle, vehicle for my thoughts. And yeah, and but this is a totally different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. And this might be because like I'm in grad school and I have been doing a lot of like, I got told today that I do a lot of this thing where I'm so focused on the signifier because that's the part that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That I forget about the form, or like the physicality of the form and how important physicality is,
It is. Yeah. Mhm.
you know, and like accessibility. And so I don't know, I've just been thinking about that because I'm like, yes, we have like great conceptual, I think like, you know, we know what we're doing, you know, and I think we think about things a lot. But also like I think in terms of making sure other people like can get it and transmit it and enter it, we have to think about like the physical form. Yeah, like formalism. Yeah.
Mhm.
In terms of like,
Okay. Yeah.
just because like I know from that last meeting, like think of it, we were told to like think of it like a physical, or like in terms of like how we would want to actually show it. Yeah.
One thing would be, also, because if we, let's say, agree on being more physical, as you said, and making things physically present, would be how would we talk about those things if not through photographs? In doing this collaboration, we are closer to being curators, more, not necessarily more than an artist, but a curator who always kind of tries to talk and frame conceptually the work. Because as I said, because we are not in the same space, and we always have to kind of describe and conceptualize the object that we want to show, that is already maybe in my studio or in your studio. For example, the painting behind you, in order for me to understand and look at it closely and get into it, you have to probably either photograph it, show it to me now, put it all these aspects, how to put it, all these methods of showing it to me, they are already a form of something that it's not a translation of the work. It's something else. It's a work in itself somehow. I mean, and it's something that it's interesting and but something is there. That. So the unnaturalness of the thing is something to take in consideration. That the fact that we cannot just meet in my studio, or I come to your studio or whatever, and look at the work and see it. We have to assume that everything is translatable into words, into another form.
Yeah, but like the loosest sense, this is something we can figure out based off of like the work that we already have in our Google Drive, or like work that we want to add, like our responses, but just thinking like, so in addition to that, how would we finally display it? Like in addition to like the words we're having or these videos we're having, like how would that finally be displayed, and how is it all going to connect together, right? Because we want to show all of these pieces we're making, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You're like, no.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I don't want to give you that impression. No, but I'm just thinking.
Yeah. No, real. But so like we want to show these works we're making, like we have all these ideas, and so like I want to show that GIF, at some point. I'm envisioning, and that's why I have to go in and clean up that ball. But like thinking about, like that kind of thing. And like, is that going to be on a phone? And I can't say that yet because we have to figure that out. But, just thinking of it like that. Yeah.